Hello, good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. My name is Amal Khalil, and I'm going to be leading this session today about competitions. Please give me a second just to bring the presentation on the screen. So since the day we're born, we face competitions. Competitions with siblings or with colleagues or with friends or even at home. So we have different types of competitions. If someone is interested to be in a relationship with someone, and in the beginning there are multiple suitors, so they think about it and they feel some sort of a competition. And it could be either two guys and a girl, or two girls and a guy, or two, whatever it is between couples. Let's say after they've already became an item, they became together. Sometimes there is a competition between couples, either over the kid or over who's better than who at what, and these sort of things. Could be unhealthy and it could be healthy, depending on the couple and depending on how they are dealing with it. At work, could be between teams, or it could be even within the team, between people, colleagues and each other, or even sometimes you'll be surprised. Sometimes it can be between the manager and his team as well, and vice versa. So yeah, if it's unhealthy, it can lead to someone just getting fired over nothing or not really progressing, or credits being taken away from them after they have worked so hard to achieve them. And between friends, so there's actually a scientific concept that says that two people can actually bond if they talk about a third person. So so yeah, so that's why you find gossip is like a very hot topic to some people. They actually spend a lot of their time just gossiping. And 1 second, let me check my phone. No, it's not someone that's trying to get in. Okay. So yeah, that's why gossip is like a very common thing you find between friends. And it can be like super unhealthy, but it also have that benefit or side of it that it kind of like brings people together and makes them like feel closer to each other because they are sharing a problem that they have with that third person. And then, they feel like they're being, uh, whatever they're sharing is being reciprocated. Not good for that third person, though. And then nature, obviously. Nature is actually like the first place where competition came about. It's either competition over food or competition over mate when their mating season is there. So they're always in struggle to show who's best, who's perfect, who's able to do this, and the learning curve uh, that helps within all of that. Could be within even like different species. How do we get out of competition? So the first thing is to realize, even though we have a lot of things in common, but we still have unique things about us. So no matter what background or what culture we come from, so that could be number one, uniqueness, you know? So if it's in a group of different ethnicities, then it's so easy to identify what's unique about me. And not in a racist way, actually, it happens in a racist way if we're not in complete tune or not in acceptance to where we came from and knowing what's so unique about us. So, for example, I grew up in Egypt and I love Egypt. So if it was reversed, if I didn't like where I come from, then the tiniest remark anyone will make it about it, I'll feel offended. But if I love it so much, I actually feel so proud, be so happy. Yes, that's even if it's not something so amazing, something that we normally would be like proud of. But if it's, yeah, like we learn to laugh at our imperfections because these imperfections are what make us or who we are. So, yeah, like there's actually a saying that goes in Egypt, even if it's like a situation that's very sad. So we say, and I'm gonna translate it and it might butcher it, but I'm gonna at least like give you a little bit of what it is. So there is something sad that makes you cry and something sad that makes you laugh. So we always choose what makes us laugh, even if it was sad in the beginning, you know. Later on, we try to joke about it. And joking actually and laughing about it makes it so much easier to deal with. So yes, there's only one of you in this universe. And the proof to that will be your fingerprints or your DNA. In your DNA, you have a certain print, you have certain codes that's not very common to everyone. So to really feel that, you will see if, for example, you have siblings from the same mom and from the same dad. You find how different you guys are. It could be in your looks. It could be in the way you perceive life. It could be in your interests. It could be in what makes you sparkle. So these are the things that you need to focus on. So instead of like competing with your brother over certain, you know, let's say the love of your mom and your dad, which is like the very common thing, you can always think about how can I support my brother? How can my brother support me? This is how we turn it into like a healthier way to look at it because yes, you might be looking to do the same thing because that thing will make your parents happy, but if you dig in within yourself, you'll find other things that you can shine with, other things that you're so good at, other things that will make you feel like you're super man or superwoman, whatever you want to call it, you know? And sometimes taking the things that you want to do from those people that you think you're competing with, like let's say, for example, you're at work and you want to get better at a certain task and you see someone else who's doing it perfectly. They're doing amazing job at it and they have the experience. Obviously, they have learned so much either from people or from things that they've been through before. So you look at that person, you can either envy them, which is the unhealthy way of like competing with that person, or you can look at them with admiration and see what can you do or learn from them or even ask them for help. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but either way, like you just take the things that you can add to yourself instead of like just copying everything that person does. So you can just notice and look and see, okay, this person did it in that way. Let me try. Maybe it could work for me. Maybe it's not going to work for me. Maybe something else will work better for me, and so on. So it's a learning curve. So instead of like giving, like, let's say 80% of your focus on other people and only 20% on yourself, you flip it. So you take only 20% from other people, learning from them, even reading, like reading books that help you achieve or get over that kind of like difficult task. So it's 20% of that, and 80% you're working on yourself. You're finding out how can you perfect it or how can you make it better and so on. So by focusing on yourself, that 80%, you find yourself rocking, like not even a competition anymore with anyone because you have spent enough time to develop your own skills, to develop your own character, your own personality, to the point that people are not, they're unable to like reach you anymore. You're in a whole different area. You completely got out of it. So work on your insecurities. First, find out what are your insecurities, and then put all of your focus on yourself and forget about others. Just keep 20% of like learning. Like, let's say, for example, you have certain idol in certain area and you admire that person so much. You see what can work for you that this person is doing and you adapt it to yourself, but don't exceed more than 20% or let's say 30% maximum. You don't need more than that to like just focus. So your energy is not poured into other people and envy and all of that, an unhealthy pattern that kind of like gives the opposite results. Nobody has ever achieved anything, even if it was for a short period of time, by an unhealthy competition. They always achieve things by healthy competition. And we see actually that a lot more in sports. You know how like to have the sports spirit or yeah, like shaking the hands of the person that won or the other way around. Because at the end of the day, you both are working towards that goal. Yes, maybe that person achieved it before you did, but maybe the next time you'll be the person that achieves it, right? So just have a perspective that it's not now or never. If it's not now, it's not yet. This is a concept that I love to go by. If I'm working towards something and it didn't happen right away or according to my schedule or the timeline that I've put it in, sometimes I get discouraged. I'm a human being, right? I'm not made out of stone. But I remember that, okay, maybe if it's not now, then it's not yet. I just need to put in more effort, have a better plan, and then work towards it. So adjust anything that was not working and then moving it forward. Sometimes also collaboration can be like an amazing tool to like get out of unhealthy competition. So let's say someone achieved the goal that you wanted to achieve and you were not able to understand what exactly they did. You can maybe ask them, can you please help me in this? Is it possible to give me some pointers? And maybe that person will be willing to help you. And the other way around, let's say you've achieved that goal, then you can actually take the hands of the other people that are trying to reach it as well. And actually, that will make you learn it twice. There's actually a study that says that if you explain something that you've learned, it's like you're learning it for the second time. So you're getting better at it. And the other person is hearing about it for the first time. So learning and giving and sharing that knowledge across will help you get better at what you're trying to do. So competitions are a lower form, while collaboration creates better results. Even you can see it in like big names, big companies that are in fierce competition with each other. You know what happens when they decide to do like, let's say, a project together? It becomes something amazing because they're adding, so each one of them have a certain flavor and they have like certain fans or certain people that love their work. And then if they join forces, it's like everything is doubled. And they come up with this third thing, new thing, and can be actually so helpful to humanity or to the people that admire their work, right? So we can go so much further together than on our own. You can see it in everything. Like there is no company that's made out of one person. Yes, it might start that way because of costs or because they just started or but as they grow, they need more people to work together. And if that dynamic has an unhealthy competition, then it goes out of business so fast. But when they have a way, a mechanism, that's why they ask you, are you a team player? What does team player mean? Team player means that you're able to collaborate with other people from other backgrounds, from other opinions, from other, educational levels, so many things that we can like feel like they're a difference between us and other people, but they're actually what add to that team, what makes that team unique and magnificent. Because each person's adding their own touch, they're adding their own energy, they're adding their own knowledge, their own experience to that. So through collaboration and true leadership, true leadership means being aware of what exactly is happening, not listening to one person over the others. No, always like having an unbiased kind of observation of how the team is working together and knowing when to be firm and when to be lenient, understanding their stories, because each person brings in a story, knowing them on a deeper level kind of like helps manage the team better as to someone who's just like looking at things from the outside, from a very superficial kind of like relationship. When you get to know the people that you're working with more, not but with but still with certain like amount of boundaries. So you have a healthy boundary in place, but at the same time, you're willing to know that person. You're willing to get connected to them in a healthy way. By doing that, you're able to know when to like ask for help or when to like need certain tasks from them. You know that you understand their capabilities a lot better and you know how to proceed in a very structural and healthy way. And that gives us the opportunity to celebrate together. It increases the joy and magnifies it. So let's say, for example, a couple, instead of competing with each other, they decided to help each other in their goals. So let's say one person wants to get healthier. The other person be like, okay, I'm gonna help you do that. I'm gonna go cycling with you, or I'm gonna, whatever it is. Then you find the two people bonding more because they have more activities to do together, even though if it wasn't like their cup of tea in the beginning, like they didn't really like cycling or they didn't really like sports or activities. But because that their partner wants to do that, they want to encourage them, they want to help them, at least even in the beginning. It it creates that beautiful vibe, right? And then when they achieve their goal, they can celebrate it together. They know what kind of like effort took out of them to reach that. And they feel more connected to each other because they have been through a challenge and they came out on the other side. So they know whenever they face anything from the outside world, they'll be able to deal with it better because they know how to work together. Even taking like diving course together, like feeling that sense of bonding, sense of connection, that even if they're familiar with each other, they can always learn something new about each other with that fresh eye kind of concept. Instead of like going like, you can do this, I can do this, I'm better at you, I'm better than you at doing that. This never really reaches anywhere. What you want to do is yes, if you want to learn certain things and your partner is so good at it, then asking them for help. Hey, can you help me with this? And if it's something that you really want to try and learn, and if it's not something that you want to learn, then you're already completing each other because the other person knows how to do it. They can help you with it. And also as a team, like we can see it in literally every sports movie, how the team, if they're not, if they're just competing with each other and not really working together, they always lose. And if they start working together and the coach actually starts connecting with them on a deeper level and a more human level and help them reach their potential instead of just like breaking them down or saying, hey, you have this all this potential, but you're not doing anything about it. No, they actually get creative on how to get them to do the things that are hard in the beginning, that are difficult. And then when they finally get the cup or, win the match, it's like, hallelujah. It's like everything is so amazing again, right? So, yeah, let's create more of that in our life. Let's have more healthy competition and less of the non-healthy stuff, and be grateful to have each other and bond more with each other in more human side or more human way. Because at the end of the day, we're all dealing with certain problems. We're all dealing with certain things that we're trying to get over in life. So the more we do that together, the better it is for each one of us and the less alone that we feel. So we hope this was helpful and that you got anything out of it. I mean, they're pretty simple and easy stuff that are, you know, some say it's common sense, but sometimes it's good to like be reminded with that and to really feel how it can be helpful for our lives to progress together to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. Thank you so much for watching and for participating, and hope to see you again next time. Thank you with gratitude.